Good morning. I'm a little bit slow this morning, and I'm not even here. Hold on. There I am. Okay. Morning, everybody. I am your Heavenly Father, Kevin Williams, and this is Spilling COVFEFE. So grab yourself a cup of COVFEFE. It's early here. We're on the West Coast. It is 7:02 a.m. In the TBD studios. And usually we get together, we take a look at the news of the day, we have ourselves a little free speech, we do some fair use, public domain stuff, and we talk about the politics and relevant issues of the day. For Spilling COVFEFE, we don't really do that. I mean, we kind of do a little bit. We find out why we should be outraged. We take a look at Fucks and Friends, and we find out sometimes why we should be outraged about things that don't exist, or sometimes things that do, that are overblown with hyperbole, or hyperbole, as they say on the tennis channel. Anybody watch the hyperbole last night? I don't want to ruin anything. I hate spoilers. Speaking of spoilers, let's check in with our friends at Fucks and Friends. Before that, good morning, Stephanie. Good morning, Marcy. Likely the only two people here. It is early. Let's take a look at the concurrent viewers. 3 people watching right now on YouTube. Woo! That might include me. So good morning, everybody. I think it's just Stephanie and Marcy. Movie night tonight, for those of you who are watching this delayed and or in the room on Twitch, etc. Hi, Liberty. We'll watch a movie tonight, and there's a new episode of Ted Lasso. I'm not saying we're going to watch it. I'm just saying there's a new episode of Ted Lasso. In the last episode, I don't want to do any spoilers. What movie? I don't know. I decide what movie like later in the day, or we'll decide together. We'll figure something out. Probably Sunset Boulevard, as always. How's everybody? Anybody got anything else to say? We'll check in and see why we're supposed to be outraged. Morning, Allison. People watching on Twitch right now, people watching on Twitters, people watching... I don't even know if we're broadcasting on Facebook, really. Let's go check in. Let's see what's going on. It doesn't tell me whether the Facebook feed is working or not, but we can find out. Hold on. Let's go to Facebooker. And we'll go to my feed. You guys won't. You can't see this. 9 years ago, I got a check for... Remember when we used to get checks for things? I got a check for some of my songs. I got a check from CD Baby, so that's important. Let's go to... we're broadcasting. All right, no, that's yesterday. What? No, it says live now. Okay, so we are broadcasting Facebook. So if you're watching on Facebook, the way to put yourself into the chat room is to make a comment on Facebook, and it'll appear on the chat room. For example, you're doing this, and you're all like, here, we can do this. And you come over here, and then you put in a comment. Like, for example, Amanda Williams saying, "Sup, loser." That was 1 minute ago, and then theoretically, that'll appear in the chat room, and there it is. You're sup. That's what's sup, Amanda. It's early. What on earth are you doing awake? That makes me proud. Let's get rid of this page. Nobody cares about Facebook. Let's check in on Fucks and Friends and see what we're supposed to be outraged by. I imagine it's going to be about the vaccine mandate that isn't a mandate. That's what I imagine. Okay, so let's go. There's the, I don't want to ruin it. And there, we get past the music, and we'll see what I bet they're going to be outraged about the vaccine mandate that isn't a mandate.
Not only is it appropriate.
Amanda Williams had a bad dream that she dropped her phone from the top of the Space Needle, but had a case on it, right? So we're good.
Because it was written and inspired by 9/11 and the attacks. Aaron Tippin wrote it. But there's going to be a package a little bit later on.
Hold on. It's still
music.
Talk about we can't play the music because YouTube will give me a copyright strike. And then, like 18 months later, Twitter will give me a copyright strike. But YouTube's on it in seconds.
Songs that were written to inspire and reflect on 9/11.
Songs
and
that
that's
they
what
wrote
got into the
after.
show, yeah.
And in fact,
that's one of them.
Aaron Tippin sang that song on this program.
Right.
And there's been a lot of music dedicated to what happened 20 years ago tomorrow, and that is all about the World Trade Center.
Yeah, you know, we all
And the
have
Pentagon in
visited with
Shanksville.
families that have lost loved ones in 9/11. Janice has been at all of these memorial sites around the New York City area, and we're featuring Brian's story today. What did you
Flight
do?
93 went to Shanksville, talked to two of the family members of those who battled and forced that plane down and really kept the House of Representatives, the Congress, the Capitol building from being hit.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Pete Hegseth is live down at near the Freedom Tower. And
Yeah, the last thing we'd want is an attack on the Capitol building. Those were some heroes.
right behind you, I believe, in the darkness, the fountains.
Absolutely, Steve. Brian Ainsley, good morning. We are right at the corner of the South Tower, or the imprint.
So tomorrow, all day, is going to be all 9/11. It's 20 years since 9/11. And we'll probably broadcast at some point tomorrow. We also have later today, we'll probably broadcast the rest of the Trump interview with Gutfeld. There's a Newsmax interview with Trump from a couple of days that we might touch on. Let's kind of jump past the 9/11 stuff. It's just depressing. And it has led to, for example, a 20-year war in Afghanistan that killed 2,500 American soldiers. Let's see if we can get past the 9/11 stuff and get back to the news.
Well, in the meantime, let's talk about the news of today. And we
Good timing, Deuce.
start in Washington, where President Biden, I'm sure you saw last night about 5 o'clock, taking aim at millions of Americans with news.
Taking aim at millions of Americans. That's how they're framing this. Because he's going to shoot them with a shot. That's why they call it a shot, because he's taking aim, President Biden. He's not my... Suddenly I'm Cockney. Halfway through that, I dropped out of Alabama. And here I am just south of Dorchester.
Sweeping COVID mandates.
He says getting
This is why I don't record voiceover auditions in the morning.
vaccinated is not a personal choice, and announced his plan to force large companies to get workers vaccinated or undergo weekly testing.
Yeah, undergo weekly testing. Oh, the horror. Wait, we're not doing that already? We're not. When I work, guess what? They test me. I will not take a job where they don't require me to test before going in. Kevin Lee Daughter turned down a job the other day. It was for Jay Leno's audience. So not just going and being in an area where everyone can be socially distanced, sitting in an audience for Jay Leno's new show, they were not testing before you went in there. Jay Leno, if you're watching, Jay, dude, come on. Also, I want to come by and see your car collection. That would be cool. I want to see that steam car. Let me know. Be happy to come by. We'll broadcast. We'll do a live stream from there.
Where's this?
I'll get tested beforehand. Anybody know for that Jay Leno show, was that, did you have to be vaccinated?
Anger when it comes to the Taliban, the anger that he has for the so-called
Oh, yeah. Remember how he was yelling at us the whole time about the vaccines? Remember he was yelling and it was like, it's about caring for others. Remember all that whisper yelling he did?
vaccinated.
Okay, so I take Jay, you're fine. Jay's audience, everybody has to be vaccinated. I don't know if they were testing or they were looking at the vaccines, looking at your proof of vaccination or whatever. But okay, so that's better. You still got to test everybody. The Delta virus does not care. So 33% of the time, the Delta virus is still going to infect you if you have a vaccine. And then you can pass it to somebody else and people get sick. I know, for example, just one small anecdote. My friends out there in New Jersey, he got it. He got quite ill. It took about a week. He was better. And then wifey got it, and she no symptoms. She felt just fine. But She can spread it. He can spread it. The vaccines help you not die. They really help you not die. They help you not end up in the hospital. So not seriously ill. But honestly, like a stuffy nose is enough for me to be, not going to do it. Happy to, oh yeah, the flu vaccine is less than 50%. It's like, right. And if I have a 50% shot, literally, at not getting the flu, I'll take that. If you're going to reduce my chance of getting the flu by half, yeah, if you're going to reduce my chance of getting the flu by 20%, 10%, I'll take that shot. Thank you very much. You know why? Because I hate the flu. And if I get the flu, it's going to be like an important day. Oh, you got a call back for a TV show. We're going to do it's in person. You got to be there. And a director and a producer are going to be, that's when I'm going to get the flu.
Griff.
By the way, flu shots are now out, so get your flu shot. There is some thinking that it's better to get it right around Halloween, and that covers you through the entire flu season. However, it remains to be seen how effective this flu vaccine is. It doesn't matter. Even if it's 10% effective, reduce your chances of getting the flu by 10%. Plus, reduce the chance of you infecting someone else who might die from the flu. Hi, Kitty.
Jenkins joins us live with a breakdown of the president's plan. Hey, Griff.
Good morning, Brian, Angeline, Steve. Look, gone are the carrots and the Ben Franklins. It's time for sticks. Calling it a pandemic of the unvaccinated, the president went much further.
That's correct, though. It's a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
Than many expected, forcing people to get the shot.
No one's being forced to get the shot. Everybody has a choice.
We need to do more. This is not about freedom or personal choice. It's about protecting yourself and those around you.
It's an about-face from what the president was saying about mandates back in December.
No, I don't think it should be mandatory. I wouldn't demand to be mandatory.
Play the rest of it. Just like I don't think masks should be mandatory nationwide. First off, vaccines, not mandatory. Secondly, definitely not mandatory nationwide. Play the rest of the clip. I'll get the clip. Hold on. Let's, just in case people haven't seen this. Okay, let me pull it up here. I can find it. Here it is right here. It's Kevin McCarthy. By the way, remember, Kevin is terrible with words. Barely speaks English. Let's put this down. Let's watch the whole clip, shall we?
No, I don't think it should be mandatory. I wouldn't demand to be mandatory, but I would do everything in my power. Just like I don't think masks have to be made mandatory nationwide.
There you go. Vaccines are not mandatory, nor are they mandatory nationwide. You have choices. You can quit your job if you want to. And with the private businesses, with the government telling private businesses, OSHA saying, hey, here's a safety thing. Yeah, government absolutely has the power to make private businesses do safety things for the workers. That's what OSHA is. Do you think auto manufacturers were super happy about putting in seatbelts or any other safety factor? Do you think manufacturers enjoy recalling? It costs them millions of dollars, but do you know why they do it? Because the federal government says so. Do you think that people who sell beef or chickens want that stuff to be actually federally inspected? No, of course they don't. It costs them money. It costs them money to have health inspectors in their staff. Now, is it better for them? But yeah, but you know what? Speaking of flu, there is no 24-hour flu. When you get the 24-hour flu, like you're sick for a day, that's botulism. That's food poisoning. We food poison ourselves all the time, and we have no clue. We're just like, oh, I caught some kind of bug. No, you ate something bad. God, humans are stupid. Okay, let me get down off my pontification throne. I just had my coffee, so here we go. So yeah, now the individual employees can mandate, or you can just get tested weekly. Now, for federal employees in the executive branch, for contractors, you got to get a vaccine. There are exemptions. There are medical exemptions. There are religious exemptions, which basically means anybody can say, yeah, it's against my religion, and not get the vaccine. But there is testing as well. So the bottom line is, We're now at, how many? Hold on. Let's find out exactly. Let's do it together. Hold on. I'm just curious what percentage of the American population is vaccinated. What percentage of Americans are vaccinated? And it goes row by row. Here's the Mayo Clinic, and you see the darker the green, the better. So right now, California's at 70%, Washington's at 70%, Colorado 65%, New Mexico 70%, Texas only 58%, Mississippi 48%, Alabama 50%, Florida 65%. Surprising for Florida, but there's a lot of old folks in Florida. They all got vaccinated. Minnesota 62%. Come on, Minnesota. That's embarrassing for you, Minnesota. 62%. And then the Northeast is all super. Here's 76% up in Vermont. New Hampshire's got to be high. New Hampshire's only 68%. Get it together. Maine, 72%. Massachusetts, 76%. Remember, these were the states who got hit hard at the beginning. Connecticut, 74%. Rhode Island, 73%. Good job. Hawaii. Hold on, Hawaii. 75% in Hawaii. At least one dose. Nice job, Hawaii. Alaska, 55%. Get with it. Let's go back. Okay, Liberty says, the hospital for which I work mandated a few months ago, you still don't have to get vaccine if you don't want to. Can you get tested then, Liberty? Is that what's happening at your hospital? And that can change under the new guidelines as well. Let's pull up this, and here we go. So anyway, they dropped off the rest of the clip. There he is. They show him talking for the rest of the sentence, and they just cut it up.
Among the president's far-reaching new rules to be issued from the Department of Labor, you see here private businesses with more than one.
Yeah, private businesses, more than 100 workers must require vaccine or weekly testing. Yeah, weekly testing. You stick a Q-tip up your nose for about 10 seconds per nostril. Oh my God, the tyranny. Oh, excuse us, King Biden, for wanting to infect others and not understanding how that works.
100 employees must be vaccinated or test weekly. That applies also to workers at health facilities that receive federal Medicare or Medicaid. And executive branch federal employees and federal contractors must be vaccinated with no option to test out. Now, not among those
and they can leave their job.
But roughly 30% of
There are, remember, for the last 6 months, all the Republicans have been saying, we got 9 million open jobs and nobody wants to work. Well, here's people that want to work. They can fill up some of those 9 million jobs, so we're good, right?
Immigrants in federal detention who refuse to get the shot. And when it comes to masks, the president is instructing the TSA.
Oh, by the way, yeah, yesterday he probably didn't want to touch on it, honestly, but he should have required masks for immigrants. By the way, there's no illegal immigrants. If they're illegal, they're immediately rejected under Title 42. If they're accepted for asylum, they're completely legal. If they're minors, they're completely legal. That's the way it works. There are no illegal immigrants right now. Now, that being said, there's people that did come here illegally. They're already in the country. There's people that don't get caught. Those are illegal immigrants. But in terms of where you could actually enforce a vaccine, no such thing as an illegal immigrant.
To double the fines for non-compliant travelers. Now, later this morning, the president, first lady, and education secretary will tour a D.C. school here. But
look at all the illegal immigrants they're showing at TSA.
It comes on the heels of the LA School District's board yesterday voting unanimously 6-0 to mandate the vaccine for all students. They're the first district in the nation to do so, and they're the second largest school district.
Man, I wish I lived in I do.
In the country. Brian Ainsley, Steve.
All right, Griff, thank you very much. So that's what's going out in L.A. And it's interesting. Apparently there was a carve-out. All federal employees impacted except postal workers. And there are 600,000 letter carriers and administrative staff. After it hit the fan yesterday, there was a clarification. Oh, you know what? What we're going to do is they can either get the vaccination or be tested once a week like a big company.
Did they say why they excluded them?
Okay.
Because they work outside primarily?
No, it's a union thing. And the big question is regarding the companies that are going to do the testing once a week. Will the employee pay for that, or will the employer?
So
if it's on the employee, they might think, oh, you know what? I'll probably get the shot.
Well, if the employee... Well, no, here's what you do. You do like Delta did and just say, hey, no, you don't have to get the vaccine. But now you do. Delta is going to say vaccine or testing, but they've already been testing. They say, that's fine. If you want to stay unvaccinated, your health insurance is going to cost an extra $200 a month. Solved. Everybody gets vaccinated. Let's take a peek. Let's take a peek and see if there's any follow-up on those articles. Delta. See, here's the trouble. When I put in Delta vaccine, of all the airlines to do something to deal with the Delta variant, it's Delta. Good luck with that Google search, Kevin. We'll put in airlines. Delta Airlines vaccine mandate. See if we can find a recent news article. News. Oh my God. United Airlines staff who are granted religious exemptions to vaccine mandate will be put on unpaid leave. Yes, please. How do I apply at United? Let's see. How do they decide? Staff can request exemptions to the mandate for religious or personal beliefs or medical reasons. So what's the... Okay, so Delta Airlines, $200 surcharge for healthcare premiums. Delta, American, and Alaska will end pay protections for unvaccinated employees who contract or are exposed to COVID-19. So if you're unvaccinated and you catch it, you're not getting any sick pay. Also a good policy, but it won't make anybody get vaccinated. United said Wednesday if an employer requests a religious exemption is denied, they must be vaccinated within 5 weeks of the denial notice. What religion besides Christian Scientology doesn't allow you to get vaccinated is my question. I'm sure there's others. What am I trying to say? I don't know. There's a religion I'm thinking of, but I can't remember what it is. They're fundamentalists. But anyway, it's the morning. This is what we do in the morning. Mega religion, yeah, the worship of Trump. Good morning at random. Hi, Finky. Who else is here? Hi, Josh. I'll be flying United for the duration of this public health issue. Not a bad call. Not a bad call. I don't know what Southwest is doing because I'm flying Southwest at the end of the month. I have Southwest miles. That reminds me, I need to make a new booking on Southwest if anyone out there can remember things for me. I can't. If I yell at Alexa, I'm going to wake people up. So, okay, so we looked at that. But I wanted to see something about how the Delta thing is gone. This is all from 2 weeks ago. Can I go most recent? Tools. Sort by relevance, sort by date. Here we go. Okay, Biden targets private sector, Biden's new rules. I'm trying to find something that has 1 hour ago. Here we go. Delta Airlines $200 COVID insurance employee charge worked. Thank you, Kaiser Health Foundation. Let's see what it says here. Americans infamously vote with their wallets. Turns out they may get vaccinated against COVID with their wallets too. In the 2 weeks since Delta Airlines announced a $200 monthly health insurance surcharge for unvaccinated employees, 20% of Delta's unvaccinated employees have already gotten the jab in just 2 weeks. Delta's chief health officer said in an Infectious Disease Society of America briefing Thursday, I think that's a huge number in terms of shifting that group that's most reluctant. So already 20% of their staff. That's fantastic. I want to see in a couple of weeks, remind me to check on that again, guys. So good job, Delta. I did fly Delta. I flew Delta on Saturday morning and happy to do it. So thank you very much, Delta. And I think they want me to review. I think I got some emails saying, please review our flight. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to review and I'm going to say thank you. Because one review makes all the difference.
Because $100 a week is a lot.
It depends on who owns the business because he said the employers, it's on you. You can decide either you pay for it or you make your employees pay for it.
Yeah, or they can just get vaccinated for free. Or if they have health insurance, which they should, because that's the rule when you have more than 50 employees, Their health insurance will pay for it. Remember, COVID testing is still free. You want to do the rapid test, you're going to pay. You want to do a PCR test once a week? Yeah, it's free. Go ahead. You don't have to do it at your place of employment. Just go to a pharmacy, go to a Rite Aid, go to Walgreens. And if you don't have one of those things, we're going to be selling the rapid tests at cost at every Walmart. Everybody has access to a Walmart.
It's pretty amazing that he would choose yesterday to go out of his way to prove that everything he said in his inaugural was...
No, it's actually not everybody has access to a Walmart. Everybody has access to COVID testing except Candace Owens.
Not true. He was divisive. He
Morning,
was
Andy.
angry. He was
Tracy.
polarizing. He was condescending.
He was angry. He was polarizing. Hey, America, let's not kill each other. How dare he, that polarizing bastard? What if I'm in favor of killing Americans? What then? It's not my president.
And again, he's saying, I once had 65% approval on my handle of the pandemic. Now it's around 50.
My handle of the pandemic?
Let's change the subject from the worst evacuation surrender in American history to COVID-19 and see if I could show that.
So, yeah, there was an evacuation, and it was Trump who signed the deal with the Taliban, not with the Afghan government, not with the legitimately elected, democratically placed Afghan government. It was with the Taliban. And then Trump released 5,000 prisoners. 5,000 prisoners.
I'm in charge by demeaning.
Do you know how many people 5,000 is? That's about a quarter of a hockey arena. And if that doesn't, here's something everybody can relate to. 5,000 people is how many people are in front of you at the Starbucks drive-thru line when you're late for work. That's 5,000 people.
And diminishing those who are unvaccinated for whatever reason. But
diminishing? What? I don't understand what he's saying.
If you take in natural immunity and those who have gotten vaccinated, we're around 70%. What really is the story, too, is people that have breakthrough that end up in the hospital, like elite athletes, like...
Okay, like Oscar De La Hoya. But if you have had COVID, 90 days later, you're still supposed to get the vaccine. It works even better. Still no reason to not get vaccinated. We need to do everything we can to keep people out of hospitals, to keep people from dying.
Oscar De La Hoya, who was vaccinated months ago, had to miss his fight because he said, I can't get out of the hospital, and I am fully vaccinated. So
right.
The president does what he does best. He picks out...
So, but you decrease your chances of ending up in the hospital by 29 times. They've done studies on this. You decrease your chance of dying to 0.00008%.
Popular Republican governors, and he takes them on. So Democrats can go, look, let's rally against Ron DeSantis and what is happening in Texas.
Yeah, that's what this is about. It's about Ron DeSantis. It's not about keeping Americans from dying. There are twice as many Americans dying today as there were last year at this time. That's where we are. Even though we have the vaccine. If you had told me a year ago, I would have said that a year from now, twice as many people are going to be dying. I would say, oh my God, so we never got the vaccine, huh?
Listen to the...
We don't know what movie tonight. You want to choose a movie, Allison? Somebody wants to throw out movie suggestions for tonight, please do. So if you're watching and you don't know, around about 6 p.m. on Pacific time, on Fridays, we get together, we watch a movie, Netflix or Amazon or something like that. No, I'm sorry, usually Pluto, something that's available free for everyone. We try and figure out who's in the room and we figure out what we can watch. We can have a Netflix watch party, we can have an Amazon watch party, Hulu probably has watch parties too, we haven't done one yet. But we do that on Friday evenings and you're welcome to join us. We have a little Google Meets room, which is like Zoom, where everybody can get in and turn on their cameras if they want to. I understand that we might get a glimpse, hopefully, of Rusty tonight in the second bedroom, where I have broadcast from before at Random's house, and I'm all about Rusty. So hopefully we'll have a Rusty cam tonight. So make sure to tune in.
President yesterday.
School officials are trying to keep children safe in a pandemic while their governor picks a fight with them and even threatens their salaries or their jobs.
Yeah, Ron DeSantis is fighting with teachers.
Talk about bullying in school.
Morning, Lindsay. Lindsay joined us for the movie night there last Friday, and then as soon as the movie started, she took off. Lindsay, you get a job yet? Speaking of jobs, the nice part is, Lindsay, you don't have to get vaccinated because you don't have a job. So, congratulations.
Schools. If these governors won't help us beat the pandemic, I'll use my power as president to get them out of the way. The Department of Education has already begun to take legal action against states undermining protection that local school officials have ordered. Any teacher or school official whose pay is withheld for doing the right thing, we will have that pay restored by...
Allison got a job. Hold on. Let me check to see if I can hear that everybody's awake. Hold on. I can't hear anything, but when I hear footsteps, I will. I'll let the judges know that you got a job, because I have to. There's a process that has to be gone through. The judges are just getting here. They're not usually here for COVFEFE because it's not an official broadcast. But congratulations, and when I do hear, let's be honest, stomping upstairs, then I'll let the judges know, and then we'll see how the judges respond. Oh, I hear stomping. Hold on a second. Let me. Hey guys, Allison got a job. Okay, so the judges like it. That's enough, guys. I know it's a big deal. I know. Is there a fire in there? Enough, guys. Okay, so judges are fully agree with Allison getting a job. Congratulations.
By the federal government, 100%. I promise you, I will have your back.
This is an about-face because in December he says he wants everyone to get vaccinated, but he doesn't support vaccine mandates. And Jen Psaki in July said a federal vaccine
Okay, but there's no vaccine mandate, so we're okay.
Mandate was not the role of the federal government.
No vaccine mandate nationwide were his words.
Here are pictures of all the governors. Can we put that back up, please? Here are pictures of all the governors that
look at that diversity, folks.
Are opposing the mandate, and the president is declaring war against them, and he's telling them, get out of my way.
Well, you know, the president is in a pickle because the pandemic is terrible right now.
You know what's great? Pickles. You want to lose some weight? Start eating pickles and or cucumbers. Like 15 calories for an entire pickle. And it fills you up. We were just talking about that with producer JoJo the other day.
Now, you know, there are...
Lindsay says, I haven't accepted any travel contracts yet. She's a traveling nurse. Crisis rates keep on climbing, so I'm holding out a little bit longer. Oh, man. But seriously, though, Lindsay, you are needed somewhere. Specifically somewhere where I haven't had hamburgers yet. Arizona.
150, 160.
Here's the deal. I'd like to, if there's a hamburger I haven't had, like Culver's. I've never had a Culver's, but people seem to like their Culver's. If you're out there in the audience and you've had Culver's before, give me a rating 1 through 10. Is it worth traveling to get myself a Culver's? Because there's a Culver's in Phoenix, Arizona, which is about 5 hours away. There's very little reason to go to Phoenix otherwise, but at some point there's a reason to go to Phoenix. There just is. So if you've had a Culver's burger before, give me a rating on Culver's burger. Give me a rating on Culver's in general, because I know they got some kind of custard, and that's a big deal there. They got your onion rings. We've looked at Culver's before. We've explored Culver's en masse in one of our Friday night movie nights. So let me know what you think about Culver's. And so 0 stars, cannot recommend. Very oily. Ooh, Finky B. Okay, so I am probably not traveling to Phoenix. Thank you, Finky. I do not like really oily burgers. Thank you. Marcy's been to Culver City. Can't recommend it there. Culver's frozen custard. Are you saying -10 or 10? Hold on. Somebody else had said something right before that. Chris Wilson says Culver's is about a 7. And there was something else I saw in there that I wanted to comment on. But again, this is Spilling COVFEFE. 10. So Chris Wilson gives their frozen custard a 10. Have I tried the Impossible Burger? Somebody asked. Yes, I have. I think it was Libby that asked that. But yeah, no, I've had the Impossible Burger. In fact, if I do fast food, which I rarely do, and now I got the Mint app, and it actually tracks when I do fast food and how much I spend on fast food. If I do fast food, if I'm out and about, I will go to Burger King, which I never thought I'd be saying as an adult. Burger King has the Impossible Burger. I like to support people who give vegan alternatives. And so I will buy Impossible Burgers. If I'm at Carl's Jr., I'll get a Beyond Patty. Any sort of meat alternative. I want it to be added to, oh, look, people are actually buying this. Because I can't tell you the number of times before where restaurants have said, oh yeah, we're giving healthy options here at McDonald's or wherever it happens to be, and then it goes away. McDonald's had a vegan burger, I want to say in Sweden or Finland. Is Kevin Lee Daughter in the room? Because she would remember. One of the Scandinavian countries. I think it was Finland. Could be wrong. Had an option for a vegan burger a year ago, 2 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, whatever it was. I'd like to know, does it still exist? Somebody do some research on that. Marcy, they have shrimp burgers. Are unfortunately allergic to shrimp, but I'm all about that. Thank you. Impossible Burgers are pretty amazing. Yes, so for those of you who haven't tried the meatless alternatives, if you want something that tastes like a burger, Impossible Burger. It's quite uncanny. Like, you could give somebody a real Whopper and an Impossible Whopper, and they wouldn't be able to tell the difference, and they would both taste similarly awful. So you got to put a lot of mayo on there. Burgerville is delicious. Lizzie, no, it's not. Burgerville is just Burgerville. To give you an idea, guys, Burgerville is just like a drive-up burger place. It's in the Oregon area. It's okay, but it's not like, oh my God, this is a great burger. I've never once driven past a Burgerville and said, oh my God, Burgerville, let's stop. It's not that great. It really isn't. In-N-Out, by far the best burger, and there's a secret. If anyone can tell me why In-N-Out burgers, there's a couple of secrets to In-N-Out burgers, but there is one that I didn't even know existed until about 3 years ago when my friend Lou told me about it. There is a reason that the In-N-Out burgers taste so unique and so delicioso. Anyway, so if you want a burger that tastes like a burger, Impossible Burger. If you want a burger patty that tastes really good, doesn't quite taste like a burger, Beyond Burger. Beyond Meat, Beyond Sausage, Beyond, all good stuff. But you have to like the taste of Beyond Patty. That being said, it's delicious. And if you don't like the taste of the Beyond Patty, there's something very wrong inside you. So explore that. We might be done. Oh, here we go.
Largely the Delta.
Go ahead. Are we still playing? Are we done? We might be done. I don't think Fox and Friends is going to cooperate with us anymore. Go ahead. It's circling. Can you guys see the circle? Yeah, you can barely see the circle. Zombie burgers. Now I'm going to Iowa. Are zombie burgers around the Midwest as well, or is it just in Iowa, Chris? Steph, they're not dry and really yummy. I don't know which. No, Impossible Burgers are not dry at all.
160,000.
Impossible Burger is the first meatless burger that you can't tell. Now, if you get an Impossible Burger at Universal Studios, it will likely be dry. If you get any burger at Universal Studios, it will likely be dry. But if you get it at a place that's good at cooking Impossible Burgers, which is almost everywhere else, I honestly, I don't know how they made the Impossible Burger dry when I had one at Universal Studios. Boggles my mind. Because if you ever take out an Impossible Patty, by the way, they sell them in stores too. So go get yourself an Impossible Burger, cook it how you like it. Yeah, so LP, it looks like Lindsay might be going to, is it Indiana? Did you just say Indiana? Hold on. Oh, it's just an Iowa thing. And Indianola, that's where she's going. So she might end up with a zombie burger.
New cases each and every day. And at the same time, his poll numbers are going down. So he's got to make sure that the Democrats don't lose the midterms. And when you look at mandates, according to the polls,
honestly, I don't think Joe Biden cares that much about the midterms right now. I think he's trying to stop Americans from dying. That's just me.
8 in 10 Democrats support mandates, but 6 in 10 Republicans oppose.
Oh, no. Republicans don't agree with something that a Democratic president is doing, which he's not doing. Oh no, 6 in 10. If that number is not 9 in 10, that's nothing to worry about. People in the other party don't like what you're doing. Oh well.
100% of the Republicans in this montage, they're governors, and they think what the president is doing is probably unconstitutional.
It is not.
To put them out of work and send them and not let them earn a living because of this?
There's plenty of other jobs, sir.
I just think that that's fundamentally wrong. I do not believe that people should lose their jobs.
Okay, but vaccine mandates have already been decided. 1828, that wasn't vaccines, but that was health policy. 1828, 1905, 1922. It happens in 1909. There's been many court cases. And then you've got things like safety, even safety with guns, safety with cars, safety with food packing. The government, the federal government has the power of safety regulations. Remember all those things that Trump used to cut? The EPA. The entire EPA is about safety. It's an entire department of the government that exists solely for safety. OSHA, of course.
Over this issue, and we will fight that.
I'll fight to protect my people and to defend their freedoms. In fact, it shocked me that the president actually said in his speech today that this wasn't about freedom and personal choice at all.
Americans take responsibility for their own personal health care. This is not the job of the governor.
You would expect words like that from the president, maybe of communist China or of North Korea, but you don't expect words like that coming out of the mouth.
For China. Communist China, get your vaccine. I know in communist China, they shut cities down completely. You're staying home and you can't come out, and we're locking the doors. What was the vaccine SCOTUS case? That was what? Jacobson versus v. Massachusetts. That was a butcher, a shopkeeper, somebody, a priest, a pastor. Somebody wouldn't get vaccinated, Jacobson. And they went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court was like, no, you're getting vaccinated. Smallpox kills a bunch of people. This is about health and safety. First thing in the Constitution, right there in the preamble, welfare. Welfare of the citizens.
Of the president.
Way before the First Amendment. Remember, the First Amendment wasn't even in the Constitution.
The United States.
And by the way, it's just so obvious. He's not only doing stuff that's unconstitutional, he's doing stuff that he said he wouldn't do. Nancy Pelosi said we cannot require someone to be vaccinated. Rochelle Walensky, the CDC, when she's in charge or when she's not being political, she's running things, says there'll be no nationwide mandate. Basically, we're looking at that right now.
Yeah, we don't have a nationwide mandate. That is absolutely accurate.
Nancy said that a while ago.
Yeah.
Curious to find out what she says now.
It's.
I don't know what Pelosi said. Shall we find out? I don't even care. Because Pelosi can't do anything about that anyway. Okay.
Pretty definitive. I mean, what changes in a year?
Well, Biden said the same thing.
Right, but I'm saying they're
Biden didn't say that.
Wrong. She was wrong then.
Fox News, in fact, has a mandate to get vaccinated. That is absolutely accurate. All these people are vaccinated that you're seeing on the couch there.
Was right then. Biden was right then. And if you don't believe they were right.
Oh, yeah. Juicy Lucy is a fantastic burger at Sam's in Seattle. At Sam's Tavern, there's several locations, including right down on the Amazon campus. I wonder if they're even open anymore. Because when I was down on Amazon campus a couple of weeks ago, just walking through South Lake Union in the Seattle area, there's nobody around. Seattle is a ghost town. But that's fine. Seattle's doing great. Everybody's working from home. If you work in tech, you can work from home.
Right, then they're just lying then.
But it's hurting the businesses downtown, is what I can tell you. A bunch of them are not open. If you're a Starbucks in Seattle and you're in an office building where nobody's coming to work, you might be closed. And I'll tell you this, though. There are way too many Starbucks in Seattle. There is a coffee shop in every single building, and most of them are Starbucks. Starbucks being headquartered in Seattle. Now, do I want those Starbucks baristas out of work? Absolutely not. But yeah, there are corners in Seattle where there's a Starbucks on each corner. It's like something out of a Mike Myers movie.
So now you have the American people. Then you have the American people who are making decisions. We understand the facts. And now he wants to make an enemy of the unvaccinated and further alienate people.
He's not the one making them the enemy. Their personal choices are making them the enemy of the entire country. Just get vaccinated. It's really not that big of a deal.
People, but his one goal came true. He wanted to knock Afghanistan and the compliant and the...
What? Do you want to think about this sentence before you start it? Let's try again.
Making decisions. We understand the facts, and now he wants to make an enemy of the unvaccinated and further alienate people. But his one goal came true. He wanted to knock Afghanistan and the compliant and the groveling way in which we're dealing with the Taliban to go off than being the #1 story, and at least...
That's a lot of words in there, a lot of extra words for Brian.
For this show, in this block, he got what he wanted. We aren't talking about his horrendous decisions.
Well, Brian, you're talking about it right now, and it's been mentioned before in this segment. And honestly, I don't think Joe Biden makes decisions based on what's going to be talked about on Fox and Friends. I really don't think he does. Oh no, Mr. President, 60% of Republicans don't approve of what you're doing. That is an awesome poll number for Joe Biden. Wow.
Thousands of Americans in a terrorist nation.
We're going to talk about that in the next segment. But the worry is regarding his broad mandates yesterday, and, there will be...
What, he's making broads get vaccinated? How dare he?
Court challenges because a lot of companies go, we don't know what to do, and it's going to wind up being litigated. But the worry is, given the fact that, the government through the OSHA requirements, he's using OSHA's emergency temporary standards codes that allows it to enact a rule if people are in grave danger. The worry is
which part of people dying is not grave danger? I mean, that's literally in there. When you die, you need a grave. That's what grave danger is. And I wish Brian Kilmeade was super fat, then I could use the joke gravy danger, but...
Going to use that to have TSA say, if you want to get on...
Marcy's correct. Next time they're going to come for the dames. They're from Denmark.
On an airplane, not only do you need a mask, you need a little card that says you're fully vaccinated.
Well, listen, there was a congresswoman on Fox and Friends First.
The card is not little, by the way. The card is too big for wallets. Come on, CDC. Jesus Christ. Everything about this whole COVID nonsense has been screwed up from the very beginning. And we knew it. And we keep doing it. So stupid. Oh yeah, you can't... If you just talk to them nicely, they'll get vaccinated. Just if you run into an anti-vaxxer who won't wear a mask, just spoon them from behind so you're not getting their fumes, and just stroke their hair and explain that the vaccine is going to help stop other Americans from getting sick, sweetie. And then they'll get vaccinated. They'll change their minds. Allison, your card doesn't fit in your wallet. You're a crazy person. The card is just slightly too big for a wallet. A man's wallet, anyway. Which is why it matters, okay? You got to show proof of vaccination if you're a man, but you don't have to show it if you're a broad, because we know we're already vaccinated, okay? Broads have to get vaccinated. Women do not get health choices in this country. The Supreme Court just said that last week. Wake up, sheeple. Your body, my choice, toots. I want that on a bumper sticker.
Earlier represents New York, and she said she has two people who have called her office that said we were pregnant and our boss required vaccines and we got fired because our doctors told us not to get the vaccine until after we had the baby.
Wait a second.
You also have girls.
I know an obgyn, and she tells her patients. And by the way, the American Society of Obstetricians or whatever, there are multiple societies of OBGYNs. All of them have said, get the vaccine. If you're pregnant and your doctor is saying, don't get the vaccine until after you're done, get another doctor. That doctor is wrong. You have far more chance of your baby being born with COVID or of you getting COVID and getting sick during pregnancy, which I believe you do not want. Now, I'm not a woman, but I play one on TV. You don't want to start getting sick during pregnancy, especially later in the pregnancy, from what I understand.
Girls that are saying their monthly cycle is being changed because they got or after they got the vaccine. We're going to talk to Dr.
Really? No. Possible, I suppose. I don't even know. I'm not a doctor. But I do not know why your menstrual cycle would be changed by the vaccine. From what I understand, and again, I'm not a woman, menstrual cycles are fairly unpredictable sometimes, which is why everyone's up in arms about this whole Texas thing, because at 6 weeks, you might have no idea that you're pregnant. Not everybody has a 28-day lunar cycle.
Nicole Saphier about that and find out what the truth is, because you have these moms that are saying, not sure I really want to vaccinate my 12-year-old daughter.
Right. Yeah.
A lot is not known.
But yeah, it's too bad. They should not be seeing their doctor. They should be seeing.
Okay, according to Liberty, who is in the medical profession, mRNA cannot change menstrual cycle. But what if it does? What if my menstrual cycle changes just like it does every month?
A local politician for medical.
Yeah, same people is like, oh, they've changed my menstrual cycle. Also eating horse dewormer. Ivermectin, says Chris Wilson, is the thing young guys want to take off. They never want kids. If they never want kids, is what he's trying to say.
Advice. We all know that's the new American.
Or the school unions.
Yeah, that's the new American way. It's fantastic.
That's terrible.
Coming on
I talked to my doctor and I got fired.
Yeah,
exactly.
And by the way, you want Joe Biden saying it's not an effect on you.
What happened? Did Steve Ducey's doctor fire him? Hold on. Let's go back and see what this is all about.
Changed because they got or after they got the vaccine. We're going to talk to Dr. Nicole Saphier about that and find out what the truth is, because you have these moms that are saying, not sure I really want to vaccinate my 12-year-old daughter.
Right. Yeah.
A lot is not known.
But yeah, it's too bad. They should not be seeing their doctor. They should be seeing their local politician for medical advice. We all know that's the new American.
Or the school unions.
Yeah, that's the new American way. It's fantastic.
That's terrible.
Coming on
I talked to my doctor and I got fired.
Yeah.
Exactly.
By the way, you want Joe Biden saying it's not an effect on you, not your.
I think they're going down the hypothetical path of taking advice from politicians that apparently, like Joe Biden apparently has no access to doctors who deal with infectious diseases. It's too bad. We need some sort of National Institute of Health. That's what we need. That's what Joe Biden should have been enacting. Or a center for controlling disease, like a CCD. That's what we need. Does anybody remember the time Trump kept saying CCD? The real stable genius?
Your doctor, nor do you need people giving firsthand accounts of how your body's reacting. Mike Pence is going to be with us. He has not talked much since he left office. He's going to be here live. Think about what it's like. He's a vice president that got an assignment and actually did it, unlike the one we have now.
And Ben Shapiro, as well, is going to join us at the 8 o'clock hour, which is when we will probably see that wreath laying down at the Ground Zero area.
The Biden administration's treatment of the Taliban called into question.
You're saying the Taliban is businesslike and professional. Their interior minister has an FBI wanted poster.
We wanted to note that the Taliban was cooperative.
The Taliban businesslike? So why praise a group that's stacking the top tier of its government with terrorists?
Good question. Look at the guests.
I made a mistake. This is Trump.
And they ordered the CDC to stop counting tests and stop counting cases.
The CDD. He called it the CDD. I said CCD. It's the CDD. So that's your real stable genius. One more time.
And they ordered the CDC to stop counting tests.
And he's reading that. He's reading it off a piece of paper. Has absolutely no reading comprehension. When he's reading something, out loud or otherwise, he'll just read whatever he thinks he sees. So yeah, what we need is a Center for Disease Destruction, like Trump had. That and the Space Force.
Coming up on this.
Oh, so let's see if Mike Pence says anything interesting. Who we got here today? There's somebody, I don't know who that is, I don't care. This is a doctor. Let's listen to the Fox doctor. The Foxter. Here we go. See what Nicole Sapphire, I think her name is Nicole Sapphire. We'll find out.
Joins us now. Good morning, Dr. Sapphire.
It is. I think her name is Nicole Sapphire. And I think I've watched her before, and I think I have doubts. Here we go.
Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. The executive branch, they don't have a choice. They all have to get vaccinated. Federal contractors have to get vaccinated. They don't even have the option to test every week. And I heard Claudia Tenney, a congresswoman from New York, this morning say she had 2 constituents call her and say they were pregnant. Their doctors told them not to get the vaccine until after the baby was born, and they were fired. What do you say about this?
Well, I can tell you, Ainsley, throughout the country right now, we are starting to see shortages in staffing, whether it's nurses, technologists.
Jesus Christ, she's not going to answer the question.
And now I suspect you're going to see other staffing shortages coming from these new.
Here's the question. Is it safe for pregnant women to get the vaccine? Yeah, well, let's talk about work shortages. We need more people in the jobs.
Mandates, and these are all man-made shortages. There were a few things, Ainsley, yesterday that I heard President Biden say that I like.
No. The question is, should pregnant women get the shot? That's what the question is. Somebody figure out where Nicole Sapphire is. She should be disbarred from being a lawyer and also kicked out of the medical community. This is terrible. Really simple question to answer, and it's been answered by I'll look it up here. OBGYN vaccine. Okay. Okay, so this is the American this is the American, hold on, what are they? American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. Okay? So the ACOG, the ACOG, everybody knows them as. ACOG recommends that all eligible persons, including pregnant and lactating individuals, receive a COVID-19 vaccine or vaccine series. There's your answer. Bob's your uncle. And Bob is an OBGYN, and Bob recommends getting the injection. But as an uncle, I wouldn't trust anything he wants to poke into you.
He discussed increasing production of the monoclonal antibodies. That's great. We need those. Are proven effective to keep people out of the hospital. He didn't go far enough.
You know what else is? The vaccines.
Saying that he was going to expand access.
The vaccines are over 95% keeping people out of the hospital. Monoclonal antibodies, about 70%.
To outpatient centers and even primary care doctors to be able to give those monoclonal antibodies. So that doesn't help that much. He also said he was going to...
He's speeding up delivery of the monoclonal antibodies by half, if that makes sense mathematically. But yeah, reducing the time spent for delivery by 50%. And the government's paying for it all, and it's $1,500 a treatment. You want to complain about infrastructure spending? What about that?
Increase production of those...
By the way, monoclonal antibodies are experimental. The FDA has granted emergency approval. They seem to be working at a rate of about 70% in terms of keeping people out of the hospital. The convalescent plasma actually did not work. Remember that was a big thing back last year? Oh, give them the plasma. The plasma from people who've already had COVID, give that to the people who have got COVID, and that'll help them. Actually not effective at all. We've now seen the studies. In fact, in some cases, detrimental.
Rapid antigen tests through the
Morning,
Defense Production Act. That's great. But what he didn't say is that those rapid tests are going to be in lieu of children having to be kept home in quarantines because of close contacts or even employees. We need to move the mark forward to act.
Well, of course, once you have COVID, you stay home. That has always been the case, including under Trump. You're not answering the question, Dr. Sapphire. Besides, I heard that women couldn't be doctors. That's what I heard.
Actually help people. We need to keep our children in school with these rapid tests. We need to keep people at work because we have so many...
Yeah. Yes. That is correct. We want testing so people can be people again.
People unnecessarily quarantining. So again, he didn't go far enough. And if you think...
You're not going far enough. All we want you to do is just answer the question. Should pregnant people get the shot?
I think his obvious disdain...
Good morning, Producer Joanna.
For the people...
Producer Joanna, Allison got the job. It's big news of the day. That's the breaking news.
People who have not gotten vaccinated helps people like me convince the vaccine hesitant to get vaccinated, you're absolutely wrong. And
what?
So moving forward...
Hold on, we gotta listen to that.
So again, he didn't go far enough. And if you think his obvious disdain for the people who have not gotten vaccinated helps people like me convince the vaccine hesitant to get vaccinated, you're absolutely wrong. And so moving forward...
Here's a good way that you could help convince people that haven't been vaccinated. Hey, pregnant people, get vaccinated. Hey, lactating people, get vaccinated. That's a simple way. You were just handed the basketball for a layup where there's a ladder.
By saying that he wants to protect the vaccinated from the unvaccinated with these mandates, he's just further undermining.
He wants to protect everyone. It's not about undermining. It's about you not answering the fucking question.
The confidence in the vaccine.
God, she's such a Nicole.
The message should be these vaccines are doing a great job at protecting people from severe illness and death.
Including pregnant women. That's what this question is, Dr. Nicole Saphier. Wow.
And he should...
We're going to watch the whole interview. We are. Well, I'm really hoping she gets around at some point to saying, at least discuss it with your doctor.
Encourage everyone to talk to their doctors. But unfortunately, he continued with his groupthink regarding vaccines, which is completely wrong. They are far too black and white. They are not providing medical exemptions for some people who may have some sort of medical condition where their physician doesn't believe they should be vaccinated. Or maybe they've already recovered from COVID-19 and have natural immunity.
Right, and they should get vaccinated anyway because that natural immunity can be boosted by the vaccines. We know that. And the Cleveland Clinic study, which everybody uses as we got natural immunity, we don't need the vaccine, says very specifically, get the vaccine.
And likely don't need 2 doses. This group...
Yeah, so just get 1 dose. It's fine. That's okay.
Think is completely wrong, and the Biden administration continues to miss the...
Okay, well, the entire group of gynecologists everywhere say get yourself vaccinated if you're pregnant or lactating. That's what we just read. And that's just ACOG. There's another group as well. Let's see if there's as far as I understand, like this is the last thing I should know in terms of my common knowledge. But there's 2 big OBGYN groups as far as I understand. Here's another one. Let's see. This is U.S. News. This is from July. And it says 2 leading obstetrician groups. See, the American College and then the Society for Maternal Fetal Medicine. That's the other one, the other biggie in the OBGYN community. I don't know why I know this. Anyway, I do know an OBGYN, and yeah, she spends half her time trying to convince people. And then there's babies born with COVID, which is apparently really, really bad. So get yourself vaccinated if you're pregnant. And if you want to get yourself pregnant, hit me up.
Mark, by not following the...
Actually, I'm kidding. Don't call me. Text me, okay? I shouldn't have done this. Text me.
Science.
There are reports that some women say they've seen changes in their monthly cycles. Have we studied how this affects reproduction for folks who have had the vaccine?
Well, the NIH is now putting forth about $1.5 million to various institutions across the study because there have been reports about that. But I don't want people to get concerned about that because you have to know...
What?
We studied how this affects reproduction for folks who have had the vaccine.
Okay, so here it is. Here's the question again.
Well, the NIH is now putting forth about $1.5 million to various institutions across the study because there have been reports about that. But I don't want people...
Reports about that. Right, there's been studies already. We've looked at this. There were pregnant women in the trials. That's a year and a half ago now. There were people who got pregnant during the trials. There have been babies born to mothers. Hundreds of thousands of babies born to mother. Well, not hundreds of thousands. Tens of thousands of babies. Okay, possibly thousands. Whatever it is. Now I'm just pontificating. But yeah.
Get concerned about that because you have to know when it comes to menstrual cycles, a lot of things can alter that.
Yes. Okay, good. Now I'm on her side. Go, doctor.
Heavy exercising, stress, medications, and just daily life can alter your menstrual cycle. Because of reports of it, they are going to look into it, but it's possible the inflammation from the vaccine may have changed a cycle for a month or two. This doesn't translate to long-term fertility issues.
There is a professor at the University of California.
Okay, so pregnant women should get the shot, right? People who want to get pregnant should get the shot, right? Just say that.
California, and he's suing.
Well, it's possible that maybe they should get the vaccine. Sounds nice.
Over the vaccine mandate because he says he has natural immunity. Is that something that they should consider? If you have natural immunity, do you have to get the vaccine if there's a mandate?
I think it is high time the CDC, other elite institutions, and Biden administration.
Elite institutions? The CDC? You mean the experts? Fuck you, doctor. What an idiot. Calling the CDC an elitist institution? The NIH? The NIAID? NIAID? Allergies and infectious diseases. But come on. This doctor's a joke. If you are a patient of Dr. Sapphire, get yourself a new doctor.
And start acknowledging the ample data that shows that
you know what elite means? Elite means best. Oh, that's an elite tennis player. He's one of the best. That Novak, he's the epitome of tennis players. That's seriously what one of the analysts said on the Tennis Channel the other day. ESPN. One of the analysts for ESPN is just an idiot. Just the stupidest comments over and over again. It makes it worth watching, quite frankly. The stuff that she says. The other day she said Novak is the epitome of a tennis player.
There is
and it almost sounded like she said epitone with an M.
Protection from natural immunity.
So and I understand that sometimes there are a ton of words that I've only read and I've never actually heard out loud, and occasionally we get those wrong. But if you're going to read an article in the morning to try and have something to say that afternoon, that's right out of the New York Post, probably, that Novak is the epitome. Yeah, look into that. Nobody else cares. No one cares.
Immunity. The CDC's website only...
And she's not an idiot. She does know a lot of stuff about tennis, but she says very silly things. And it's hilarious.
Discusses one small case control study out of Kentucky that showed that there was a higher rate of reinfection following infection than vaccine.
No, she said it in a derogatory manner at random. Let's go back.
Natural immunity. Is that something that they should consider? If you have natural immunity, do you have to get the vaccine if there's a mandate?
I think it is high time the CDC, other elite institutions, and Biden administration start acknowledging the ample data that shows that there is protection from natural.
Yeah, this is derogatory.
Immunity. The CDC's website only discusses one small case control study out of Kentucky that showed that there was a higher rate of reinfection following infection than vaccination. But that goes against all of these other studies throughout the United States and throughout the world, which are much larger studies that show there is great protection from natural immunity. There's also very good protection, even better, from one dose of the vaccine following infection. They don't necessarily need that second dose. Why they cannot get past this black and white, everyone needs the 2 doses, it really boggles the mind. The CDC acknowledges natural immunity with so many other viral infections, but they're getting in their own way right now when it comes to acknowledging natural immunity. We need to focus on the people who are not vaccinated, who have not recovered from COVID-19. Those people still remain the most vulnerable.
Dr. Sapphire, thank you.
Okay, so what the study shows, COVID-19 infectious study, Kentucky among people who were previously infected with SARS. So if they got COVID before, unvaccinated individuals are more than twice as likely to be reinfected with COVID-19 than those who were fully vaccinated after initially contracting the virus. The data further indicate that COVID-19 vaccines offer better protection than natural immunity alone, and that vaccines, even after prior infection, help prevent reinfections. So, if you've had COVID before, get the vaccine. If you've never had COVID before, get the vaccine. Protect yourself from this. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. But that's I know that's not the only thing on the CDC website. In fact, I will CDC. It's CDD, right? Didn't they change that under Trump? Okay. This is Cleveland Clinic. Cleveland Clinic. Okay, that's a rabbit hole right there. So we're not going to go down there. But the Cleveland Clinic we'll just pull up the Cleveland Clinic. This is the newsroom of the Cleveland Clinic. Okay. More research is needed. And what do they say here? It is safe to receive the COVID-19 vaccine even if you have previously tested positive, and we recommend all those who are eligible receive it. That's the Cleveland Clinic study. That's on their website if you want to look it up. Boop, boop. That's not what I want. This is what I want. Here we go.
Thank you, Ainsley.
You're welcome. Up next, an incredible piece by Brian, who recently...
That's it. Never answered the question. What's Brian got going on?
Traveled to Shanksville, Pennsylvania to...
Okay, that's 9/11 stuff. That's too depressing for anybody. Let's get going here. And it's 8:13 already. Wow, we've been broadcasting for a while. My jaw is sore. Mike Pence. Should we check out Mike Pence, guys? I know. Does anybody need a nap this early in the morning? For those of you over in Europe, this will put you right to bed again. So if you're like you wake up in Europe, maybe Andy's watching. And he's like, oh, man, I wish I could get back to sleep. This will do it. We'll hear from the former Vice President of the United States. Does anybody want to watch Pence? We can. We cannot. I might watch him for a couple of minutes here. I'll just wait to see if anybody's interested. Just say yay or nay. People are starting to check out. I'm starting to check out. Okay. Well, I'll just start, and we'll see if we get into it. Marcy said, okay. All right. Well, Stephanie wants to watch. So let's watch a couple of minutes of it.
Talk about bullying in schools. If these governors won't help us beat the pandemic, I'll use my power as president to get them out of the way.
This morning, Republicans are firing back as Joe Biden threatens to use his power to overrule any governor challenging his sweeping vaccine mandates.
Here now in his first exclusive TV interview in nearly a year, former Vice President Mike Pence. Mr. Vice President, good morning. Where have you been?
What good?
Remember, this is Mike Pence. This is Mr. There's not going to be a second wave of coronavirus. Let's talk to this expert on how things are going.
Morning, all, and great to be with you from here in Indiana. Karen and I moved home a couple of months ago, and we've been traveling the country. And but it's great
nobody cares.
Coronavirus task force, and I couldn't be more proud of what the American people accomplished during our time of service. I mean, think about it. We reinvented testing from a standing start. We saw to the delivery of billions of supplies. We provided businesses with support. And against all odds, we developed 2 safe and effective vaccines within 9 months. And now we sit here today, 3/4.
3, sir. There's 3 vaccines approved. Wow. He's only 33% wrong. He was only the person in charge of the coronavirus effort.
Of the American public have received at least 1 vaccine shot. I mean, it really is a medical miracle in Operation Warp Speed. But I have to tell you, the president's speech yesterday was unlike anything I'd ever heard from an American president. I mean, to have the president of the United States say that he's been patient, but his patience is wearing thin. That's not how the American people expect to be spoken to by our elected leaders. I mean,
well, 25% of them are complete idiots. Case in point. So sometimes, apparently, brushing their hair and whispering sweet nothings about how smart they are doesn't work.
The president should simply continue, as we've done, to lead by example. And
you is good. You is smart. You is unvaccinated.
Encourage people to take the vaccine, as Karen and I did on national television back in December. But
remember how everyone was like, "Oh my God, Karen and Mike Pence just got the vaccine. We should rush out and get it." That was super effective there, buddy. Thanks.
But to say that it's not about freedom, it's exactly about freedom. America is about freedom and the ability to make the best decision for your family, for your business. And the approach this administration is taking now with this new surge of mandates and dictates.
Americans can't even be trusted with the choice of whether or not to wear seatbelts. That's why every state has seatbelt laws. That's why the federal government mandates that automobile manufacturers put seatbelts in cars. There are safety standards to follow. So no. But if you remember back in the day, I'm just old enough to remember people, there's no way I'm wearing no seatbelt. It's more likely to kill me. Everyone's going to get decapitated because of seatbelts. I remember that from when I was a kid because I'm 112.
From Washington, D.C., and also with not respecting the leadership at the state level. That was central to the approach of the White House Coronavirus Task Force. We got governors across the country what they needed, when they needed it, and we respected them to make the decisions best for their state.
Sure.
And now to have a president not just scolding the American people, but scolding governors around the country, it's just not the American way. And I expect.
Okay, well, the American way is not dying, as far as I know. Okay, so Dr. HT says, Kevin, were you in LA when the measles outbreak happened? Yes. And kids were removed from classes back in the late 80s? No, I wasn't there. But thanks for the question, Doctor. Speaking of which, I just checked my calendar, and I do have something to do this morning that I neglected until right now. So I will let you guys go. Later today, we'll try and cover the Gutfeld thing, the interview with Trump, and then we'll do movie night tonight, as far as I know. I think it's happening. If you guys have some movie suggestions, put them up on Twitter or in the chat room or whatever. We will see you guys later in the day. Be good to yourselves, be good to others. Most importantly, be good